Good afternoon. Thank you for being here today. As the U.S. Attorney for South Carolina, I'm charged with keeping the citizens of the District of South Carolina safe. That's safe from drugs, safe from violent crime, but also safe from fraud. I am committed to promoting and protecting the rule of law. Simply put, the law applies equally to all in South Carolina. The same spoon that feeds the drug defendants, the felons in possession of firearms, and corrupt officials will also serve those companies and individuals who dare to commit Medicare fraud. White-collar crime is not a victimless crime, as officials here today from Palmetto GBA can attest. Ultimately, it is the taxpayers who will pay for higher healthcare premiums and out-of-pocket costs that result from fraud on the Medicare system. Today, we are announcing one of the largest Medicare fraud investigations in the history of the FBI, the Department of Health and Human Services, OIG, and Irs Criminal Division. This operation is called Operation Brace Yourself. It is a nationwide investigation that originated here in South Carolina. Agents in South Carolina and prosecutors behind me here in South Carolina disrupted and dismantled a nationwide fraudulent scheme. So far, across the country, over 80 search warrants have been executed in 17 federal districts, and charges against 24 defendants have been made so far. These include owners, managers, and others associated with 6 telemedicine companies, the owners of dozens of durable medical equipment companies, 3 licensed medical professionals, and others, all for their alleged participation in a healthcare fraud scheme that involves close to $1 billion in loss. The proceeds of the scheme were used to purchase exotic cars, yachts, and luxury real estate across the United States. According to the allegations, the defendants obtained patients through an international call center that advertised to Medicare beneficiaries. They would upsell the beneficiaries and lure them in with free or low-cost durable medical braces, neck braces, back braces, knee braces, wrist braces. The international call center allegedly paid illegal kickbacks and bribes to telemedicine companies in exchange for DME orders for those Medicare beneficiaries. The telemedicine companies then allegedly paid physicians to write prescriptions for patients with whom they had no relationship, without performing any test or physical examination. And then finally, the international call center would sell the DME orders to DME companies, which would then fraudulently bill Medicare. Again, Operation Brace Yourself had the goal to dismantle every aspect of this fraudulent scheme, from marketing, where you had these advertisements going out to Medicare eligible individuals, the international call centers that obtained the information from the Medicare beneficiaries, the telemedicine companies that signed off on the prescriptions, the shipping companies sending these low-cost Chinese-made braces, and the DME companies that paid kickbacks so that they could bill Medicare millions upon millions of dollars. Specifically, in the District of South Carolina today, we announced that charges were brought against Andrew Camille, age 43, of Mount Pleasant, and companies in which he had an ownership interest, including 10 DME companies, 2 dropship companies, and 2 additional companies that facilitated the fraud, up to around $200 million. Again, related to the payments of kickbacks and bribes in exchange for allegedly medically unnecessary DME orders. At this time, I'm going to turn it over to my law partner, Special Agent in charge of the FBI, Jody Norris.
Thanks, Sherry. Good afternoon. As you have heard from United States Attorney Lyon, this fleecing of America was a massive scheme which took a coordinated team effort to take down this criminal network. Therefore, I'd like to recognize the FBI's partners in this investigation. First, Health and Human Services, the Internal Revenue Service, the Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services, and the United States Attorney's Office here in South Carolina. This case, which spans coast to coast and implicates actors abroad, originated in Charleston and was investigated by FBI special agents and professional staff there. It is because of their skill, dedication, and perseverance, along with those attributes of our partners, we are here today speaking about such a successful dismantlement of one of the largest healthcare fraud schemes in our history. Now I'll turn it over to IRS ASAC Matt Lyon.
Good afternoon. My name is Matthew Lyon, and I'm the Special Agent in charge for the Internal Revenue Service Criminal Investigations Charlotte Field Office. I'd like to thank United States Attorney Lyon for this opportunity to speak this afternoon. So today, Irs Criminal Investigation stands here with our federal partners, with the FBI, Health and Human Services, and the United States Attorney's Office, to announce the indictments and arrests of those who orchestrated and participated in this massive healthcare fraud and money laundering conspiracy. These individuals were motivated by greed. These defendants, in this case, they concocted an elaborate scheme to exploit the U.S. healthcare system by targeting Medicare beneficiaries, paying doctors for prescriptions, paying kickbacks and bribes, and in turn selling these prescriptions to DME companies, all to ensure that they could line their pockets. Every step of the way was a calculated move by these defendants in an effort to give an appearance of legitimacy to what they were doing, but to really conceal the true nature of these ill-gotten gains. At its core, this is a healthcare fraud and a financial fraud scheme against the United States and the taxpayers in excess of $1 billion in losses. As experts in conducting financial investigations and piecing together financial transactions to uncover the truth, IRS Criminal Investigation is proud to have partnered with the FBI, Health and Human Services, United States Attorney's Office, and other partners in this matter. For the past 100 years, IRS Criminal Investigation has been committed to dedicating our resources to investigations that focus on the most destructive criminal activity while making the most use of our skill set as expertise as financial investigators. As in this case, we will continue to use this expertise to diligently follow the money in these financial crimes in an effort to expose those who violate the law. We will continue to work closely with the United States Attorney's Office and our federal partners, federal, local, and state partners, to disrupt and dismantle criminal enterprises and organizations and seek to hold those involved accountable. Again, I'd like to say thank you one last time to our law enforcement partners for this effort and the true collaboration of coming together in this investigation. Thank you.
Again, we've had very fine agents working all night long, still arresting folks across the country. I'm very proud of the hard work of these agents, but I'm also extremely proud of two of the prosecutors in our office who have led this effort, Jim May and Will Richardson, Will Lewis, who will be leading the prosecution of these cases. And so I'm going to ask them to answer any